All right, so we're going to be talking about another story that honestly just makes me irritated because I've been a huge fan of this franchise for quite some time. I've been a huge fan of the character of Sam Fisher, been a huge fan of the Splinter Cell games. The stealth genre is something that is completely missing nowadays. That used to be a big hit back in the early 2000s, in the 2010s, but for some reason, it's been 8 years. It's been 8 years since we've had a Splinter Cell game where we've had Sam Fisher, actually having his own solo game. Now, we've seen him in Rainbow Six, we've seen him in Ghost Recon. He has been betrayed. Like, the character is still alive, even though it's funny, even in Ghost Recon, he makes a mention that he is the only one left because Snake from Metal Gear Solid, they don't really make Metal Gear Solid games anymore. Ever since, I think it was Metal Gear Solid 5, we've not had a stealth action game with that type of character from the Metal Gear series. But for some reason, Sam Fisher is still, as a character, he is still here. But for some reason, Ubisoft does not want to release a standalone version of Splinter Cell. Now, I'll get into the reasons, my speculation on why that is, and I think it's all about the green, it's all about money, but it's interesting. We're going to get into this article talking about how, again, another E3 passes and Splinter Cell is not to be brought up whatsoever, not to talk about, not to be mentioned. He's like Voldemort at this point. But for some reason, Netflix, like Ubisoft and Netflix, are working on a Splinter Cell series. Even in this, the Den of Geeks, Splinter Cell Netflix series confuses fans who just want a new game. That's all we want, baby. That's all we want. We just want a new game, for the love of God. I don't know what it's going to take in order to get a new Splinter Cell game. Like, and you can have them in Rainbow Six, the characters in Ghost Recon. There are portrayals of this character. I mean, hell, even cosmetic items of the three like goggles and all this stuff. This character is still somehow alive in the universe of Tom Clancy. But for some reason, Ubisoft just does not want to make a new game. They'll make a series apparently with Netflix. But for some reason, like, no, we can't do a new game. So let's get into this. So we'll save this for last for the Netflix thing. We'll talk about the E3 thing right now because, again, like I said, we've had another E3 where Splinter Cell is just a no-show, and people are wondering, like, what the hell is going on? If you're gonna have this character in other games, Ghost Recon, Rainbow Six, and then you apparently are planning on doing a series, an animated series on Netflix, it's just making people confused on what they're wanting to do with a Sam Fisher game and a Splinter Cell game, but I think honestly, God, it has everything to do with microtransactions in this, because Splinter Cell back in the early 2000s, back in the 2010s, there was not really a whole lot of microtransactions when it comes to this game. There was DLC for those games, but when it comes to like nowadays microtransactions, it's just not a thing that it was back in the day. And I think that's the one reason that Ubisoft is not deciding, or at least hasn't decided yet, to make a new Splinter Cell game, because how do they figure out on microtransactions? How do they figure out on making every cent they possibly can with a new release that's a single player game? Because you have Ghost Recon that has different microtransactions, DLC, Rainbow Six Siege that has a piss load of cosmetic items with DLC and stuff like that. So those are games that Ubisoft has been making recently in the past couple of years that they've been able to continue on making and building upon with adding new cosmetic items that are bringing in a crap load of more money for the Ubisoft studio. So what do they do? How do they bring a Splinter Cell game nowadays? Because it's supposed to be a single player game, except for, some of the Splinter Cell games had co-op, had a co-op campaign or co-op game style. But let's talk about this. So Ubisoft's E3's 2021 presentation has come and gone, and bet you can't guess what it wasn't shown. I could have told you, I could have told you right here and now. Right before their show, went on, I could say right now, yeah, they're not going to show Splinter Cell. They're not going to show it. For whatever the reason is, if it's cosmetic items and they don't know how to make money off of the game at post release, they're not going to release this game. And for some reason, they're sitting on Splinter Cell. But that's right, Splinter Cell, the long running stealth franchise beloved by millions, did not appear at E3 for the 7th year in a row. Yep, you're damn right. So the last main entry was in 2013, Splinter Cell Blacklist, but since then, Ubisoft has not seemed interested in bringing the franchise back, instead of opting to place the game's main character, Sam Fisher, into other games or even other mediums, such as the newly announced anime that's going to be on Netflix. So The story goes, this at least an article on Inverse goes into kind of what Splinter Cell is and whatnot, but for some reason, again, they go into this thing where it says anything but a new mainline game. So still each and every year we hope for a new mainline Splinter Cell game to be announced at E3, and each year we leave the show disappointed. What's strange is that Ubisoft has actually put Sam Fisher in many other games over the years. For instance, Splinter Cell protagonist appeared in Ghost Recon Wildland as part of the Special Operations DLC, as well as in Ghost Recon Breakpoint. Fisher has also made an appearance in free-to-play mobile games. Yes, even the Elite Squad, I forgot about that one. There's even a VR Splinter Cell game? No, I did not. Okay, so I didn't know about that. So, so one, I completely forgot about the mobile game. Two, I did not know about this VR Splinter Cell game, which I'm very curious on exactly how they're going to do that when it comes to, you know, stealth and whatnot. You're going to be tearing the hell out of your house. But again, it goes into it. It's been so long since they've had a mainline game, but they put him in everything else. So I don't think Ubisoft is ready to get rid of the Sam Fisher character just yet. They're holding on to Sam Fisher for as long as they possibly can. But it's just very odd that they want to keep a hold of this character, put him in other games, but they don't know how to make a single player game, and then apparently just stuff it. But that even doesn't make sense either, because you have the Assassin's Creed games with Odyssey. I mean, they were able to make these games with a crap load of microtransactions, and they were single player. So, I mean, to me, that doesn't even make sense now that I'm thinking about it, but it's just odd. The fact that Sam Fisher and Splinter Cell have made frequent appearances across various mediums over the years prove that Ubisoft is interested in the IP, but is perhaps apprehensive about another disappointing video game release. Look, I don't know. What is disappointing at this point when there's a lot of people out there asking, yes, we want a game. We want a Splinter Cell game. People like, look, if articles are written right now where they're disappointed there's not a Splinter Cell game, I don't know how you are going to be like, people won't buy the game. You know what the reason was behind Blacklist? The big issue behind Blacklist is because I think it was Michael Ironside was not the voice of Splinter Cell, and that turned a lot of people off. However, in Rainbow Six and Ghost Recon, Michael Ironside came back to voice Sam Fisher. I honestly, look, if you cannot have Sam Fisher without Michael Ironside's voice. You can't. I'm sorry. Michael Ironside made his voice an icon to Sam Fisher. Like, they are one and the same. They are the same person when it comes to the portrayal of Sam Fisher. So, honestly, look, even though Ubisoft, we had terrible sales numbers for it, I think, at least in my opinion, I think the reason why it turned people away is because they had a different voice actor from Sam Fisher. But that's just me. That's just me saying it. So anyway, let's get into this the Den of Geeks article. So again, Splinter Cell Netflix series is confusing fans. Netflix's Splinter Cell series looks promising, but fans can't help but wonder, why isn't it just a new game? Why? Like, okay, so look, I don't want to crap on this Netflix series by whatsoever. I don't want to do it, because any type of Splinter Cell content I will enjoy, because I enjoy the genre, I enjoy the series, I enjoy the character and the espionage and stuff like that. So I don't want to crap so much on this animated series they're wanting to do. Apparently I think it's the person that helmed John Wick, is apparently involved in making and creating this new series, this Netflix series of Splinter Cell. But again, even though I can sit here as a fan and say, yes, I'm going to enjoy this Netflix anime series of Splinter Cell, it's not a game that I can actually play and enjoy in front of me and actually portray the actions of Sam Fisher myself and do the stealth and do the secrecy and sneaking through missions and stuff like that. That's the stuff. That's the high that I want to have when I go through these games and play. I want to have that stealth, that super soldier type fantasy of being able to sneak around and stuff like that. That's what people are missing. Yes, it's cool to have a Splinter Cell animated series, but again, it's not the same feeling as a video game when it comes to, running around, stealth killing people, spying on people, doing this and that, or you do the Blacklist thing, and you just go full Predator on that, and you just kill everybody in the game. But again, it's not the same. It's not the same whatsoever. And I really do think that it is enjoyable to know that we're going to be getting an animated series, which I've enjoyed some of the certain animated series like Dead Space. Dead Space had a good one. Dante's Inferno had a really good animated movies and stuff like that. I will say that I'm anticipating this Netflix series, as an anime. I think it's gonna be really cool to see. But again, it's not the same. It's not the same as a video game. I think it's a really great thing that they're trying to keep Splinter Cell alive. They're trying to keep Sam Fisher's character alive as much as they can, trying to put it in different, genres between Ghost Recon, Rainbow Six. They're trying to keep them alive in this animated series. But again, what is the reason behind them not wanting to do a mainline game? Because, like I said, at first I was like, you know what, it doesn't make sense because they want to make microtransactions. But when you think about the Assassin's Creed games and all the single player games that they have and the amount of microtransactions and DLCs that they sell in that game, in that genre, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense on why they wouldn't make a Splinter Cell game. So anyway, just wanted to give you guys my opinion about that. Again, I think it's a really just, it's just a bummer. It really is a bummer. As somebody that is a huge Splinter Cell fan, it sucks to know that now, 8 years, we have yet to have a new Splinter Cell game. And I don't think we're gonna, I mean, unless they plan on announcing one after this anime series, maybe they're trying to see how well this anime series does on Netflix. Maybe if it's a big, brings in a bigger audience, maybe they'll decide on making a Splinter Cell game. But at this point, I just don't think that, I don't know, man. I really don't. I don't think that they're going to be making a single player game, single player Splinter Cell game. Wow, that was hard to say. Anytime soon, and it's just kind of a disappointment because I enjoy the genre, I enjoy the type of gameplay, but I don't know. It is what it is, but I just really want to talk about it, give you guys my opinion about it. Let me know in the comments below. One, what do you guys think about another miss at E3 when it comes to a Splinter Cell game? But also, two, let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think about the anime series that they're wanting to do with Splinter Cell and the Sam Fisher character? Let me know in the comments below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please have a great rest of the day. I look forward to talking to you guys all next time.